Number 1. Precision saw table installation and use video. First receive the machine. After that, the table on the side of our machine is lifted straight up. Then take out all the accessories inside. Then organize it. Then there are 2 screws on the side of our front position. Remove these 2 screws. Then we will install this ground corner on our machine first. Then underneath this support foot is also a ground foot. Then the first corner of the ground to be installed. Then take off all the screws on the side of this. Then fix the holes with screws. This foot can adjust its height. After installation to adjust the height of the position can be. Then there is a positioning nut below. Lock the nut in place. Then find our receiving frame. The receiving frame is a square plate with a connection. This square plate is the location of the tabletop is on the outside of the machine. Then the position of the square tube is on the inside of the machine. Then this side is assembled after. Use screws from the inside and outside and then put in. Secure with nuts. After the installation of the straight support plate is completed, then find our other 2 ground corners. There are also 2 holes under the receiving frame. There is a good installation of this floor corner. Then on the exit side of our saw table there are 3 nuts. Take the top one straight off. After dismantling our receiving frame, directly against this hole on the direct fixed good. Will we take off 2 nuts before, fixed directly from above. After fixing, the following nut is a positioning nut. Then let the 2 countertops maintain a level state, or the splice plate can be a little lower. Then let's assemble our slide rail bracket. Before assembling the slide rail bracket, first, the top of a nut first take off then we will. The side of the fixed handle this position in order to facilitate the installation. You can give it a few buckles of this silk buckle out, then leave out a rail thickness. Then position our bracket squares correctly. Inside this slot core directly to it through the can. After the slots are fixed, then lift our bracket slightly upwards. Then thread the screw rod directly into the bearing. After installation is complete, then screw our nuts directly on top of it to it. The nuts serve as a top and bottom. It is a horizontal positioning nut to adjust our bracket. After adjusting the level, then the 2 handles are also all locked for fixed. This handle, if the lock is facing upwards in that direction, handle can be stretched outward. Then give it a pirouette. Then our 3 derailments. Its height is also adjustable. Find one of our horizontal leaning rulers, then placed horizontally on top of the rails. It's high and low if there is a deviation. It can be passed through the screw rod underneath which is reserved for screwing. Turn it up a bit after loosening it. It is also equivalent to a positioning nut. 3 roots. The roller brackets are all adjusted to the same horizontal position. Then let's assemble our crossrail. There is also a square nut on the side of the horizontal ruler, directly into the square slot of our horizontal ruler. Then in the position of our guide rail, there is a rail positioning. Stretch it outward. It is having a shallow card slot. After pulling out this position of the card, then we position the horizontal leaning scale from 2. This position is from the countertop with a 2. Scale line of 0. Directly let out 2 centimeters. It is. Directly give up the distance of our dust cover. Directly after booking the location. Then lock the 2 nuts all over again. Then find our locator. This positioner is also a square nut, threaded directly on top into the card slot. Then I base the dimensions on the length of our cutting board. Then locate. The plate is directly topped to this position. It is possible to cut one size of the sheet directly. Then we have 2 more presses. The installation method is the same. It is also a square nut. From that position at the back, there is also a card slot directly through the. Then the platen is pressed. The height of our positioner is adjustable. Also has a nut on the top and bottom, including its front and back is also adjustable. Be sure to lock the nut after adjustment. Then we find our losing ruler. We'll lose against the ruler is about to set a position on the table. Then lock the handle. If it is true that in the case of locking the handle is stuck more too tight, this handle cannot be pressed down. It has a disc in front of it. Through it, set it back 2 more buckles. Then press down again. If the downward pressure process feel this leaning ruler after the pressure, still have the amount of wobble, then fine tune the screw rod a bit.